Are you tired of sweating through the summer while watching your electricity bill skyrocket from traditional air conditioning? Today, we are breaking down the absolute best evaporative air coolers on the market that will actually keep you frosty. I have ranked these from worst to best, looking at everything from cooling capacity and noise levels to build quality and overall value. Stick around until the end, because the model that claimed the #1 spot completely transformed my stifling garage into a comfortable oasis, and it might just be the exact cooling solution you have been searching for. Deluxe XKTB006. When I first pulled this out of the box, I was immediately drawn to its incredibly compact and lightweight design, making it seem like the perfect companion for a cramped office desk or a small bedside table. Setting it up was straightforward enough. You simply pour water into the top reservoir, let the filter soak, and power it on. The controls are relatively intuitive, and the addition of a built-in rechargeable battery gave me the initial impression that this would be a highly versatile unit for moving around the house. During my testing, I found that if you are sitting directly in front of it within a 2-foot radius, it does provide a noticeable drop in temperature compared to a standard desk fan. The misting feature adds a pleasant touch to the breeze, making a hot afternoon a little more bearable if you have it pointed right at your face while working on your laptop. However, my real-world experience quickly revealed some significant limitations that hold this unit back from a higher ranking. The cooling power is severely lacking the moment you move even a few feet away, and the rechargeable battery drains surprisingly fast when you have it running on the highest fan speed with the misting function active. Furthermore, the build quality feels quite flimsy, and I noticed a bit of annoying rattling when the water level gets low, which completely ruins the otherwise quiet operation. If you strictly need a highly portable, close-range desk fan for brief periods, it might suffice, but it falls short of being a reliable all-day cooling solution and struggles to justify long-term use. 9. Arctic Air Pure Chill 2.0. I was eager to get my hands on this upgraded version to see if it actually lived up to the massive hype of transforming hot, dry air into a cool, refreshing breeze. The setup process remains incredibly simple, utilizing a top-fill water tank and a multi-directional air vent that lets you precisely aim the airflow wherever you are sitting. It also features built-in LED mood lighting, which adds a nice aesthetic touch to a nightstand and makes it double as a rather pleasant nightlight for a bedroom. When testing it on a hot, dry afternoon, I did appreciate the hydro-chill technology, which genuinely makes the air feel crisper and cooler than a traditional bladed fan. It is undeniably effective for spot cooling, and I enjoyed having it next to me while reading a book, as the gentle hum of the fan is actually quite soothing for relaxation. Unfortunately, the enthusiasm wears off once you realize how incredibly small the water reservoir is, requiring constant refills every couple of hours if you are running it on the highest setting. I also ran into a frustrating issue where the device would occasionally leak from the bottom if it was accidentally bumped or shifted even slightly on my desk. To make matters worse, the filters need to be replaced rather frequently to prevent a damp, musty smell from developing, which adds a hidden ongoing cost to this budget-friendly cooler. It certainly has its charm for short-term spot cooling, but the constant maintenance, leaking problems, and localized airflow keep it firmly near the bottom of our list. 8. Della Personal Mini Air Conditioner. Right away, the design feels a bit more robust and thoughtfully engineered, presenting itself as a slightly more serious piece of personal cooling equipment. One of the standout features of this model is the inclusion of an oscillation function, which is something you rarely see in ultra-compact evaporative coolers. This simple addition completely changes the experience, as it prevents that stiff, uncomfortable feeling you get from having cold air blasted directly onto the exact same spot on your face for hours on end. During my testing in a small home office, I found the cooling output to be surprisingly effective when the reservoir was filled with ice water instead of just room temperature tap water. It manages to distribute the chilled air across a wider area of the desk space, making the surrounding environment feel significantly less stuffy and much more breathable. The water tank capacity is also slightly better managed here, allowing it to run for a reasonable chunk of the workday before demanding a refill. I was also quite pleased with the noise profile. Even on the highest oscillation setting, it maintains a steady, unobtrusive white noise that never interfered with my phone calls or deep concentration. While it is still strictly a personal, close-range cooler that will not drop the ambient temperature of an entire room, It performs its specific job very well. It is a solid, dependable choice for anyone who needs localized relief at their workstation without dealing with the major drawbacks of cheaper, stationary alternatives. 7. Arctic Air Pure Chill Deluxe. This model instantly feels like a substantial upgrade, shedding some of the toy-like qualities of its smaller sibling for a much more appliance-like presence. The first thing I noticed during unboxing was the significantly larger water reservoir, which immediately solved my biggest complaint about the standard versions. This expanded capacity means you can fill it up before bed and actually wake up with the unit still blowing cool, evaporative mist, making it a highly viable option for nighttime use. When I tested this unit in my bedroom, the difference in airflow was immediately apparent. It pushes out a much stronger, wider column of chilled air. It incorporates dual cooling jets that do an excellent job of vaporizing the water quickly, providing a faster drop in immediate temperature when you are sitting nearby. I also really appreciate the upgraded touch controls on the top panel, which feel responsive and give the unit a much more modern, premium aesthetic. The multi-speed fan allows for a good range of customization, letting you easily dial it back for a quiet, gentle breeze or crank it up for maximum relief after coming inside from the hot sun. This deluxe model proves that the Arctic Air formula can actually work quite well when given a bit more power and a larger water tank to sustain it. It bridges the gap perfectly between a tiny desktop novelty and a mid-sized room cooler, earning its rightful spot in the middle of our ranking. 6. Arctic Air Chill Zone Evaporative Cooler. Standing noticeably taller than the previous entries, this tower-style cooler is designed to tackle larger spaces like a living room sofa area or a small dorm room. The oscillating tower design is a massive advantage here, as it sweeps a tall, wide curtain of chilled air across the room rather than just pointing a small beam of mist at your chest. Setting it up was a breeze, and the increased height means it sits perfectly at bed or couch level, delivering the cool air exactly where you need it most. My testing experience with the chill zone was highly positive, especially when I utilized the included ice packs in the water reservoir to supercharge the cooling effect. It managed to take the edge off a sweltering afternoon in my sunroom, bringing down the perceived temperature significantly and creating a highly comfortable breeze that reached all the way across the room. The controls are straightforward and user-friendly, offering multiple fan speeds and an easy-to-use timer function that is incredibly handy if you want it to shut off automatically after you fall asleep. I also found the water tank to be quite generous, easily lasting through an entire afternoon of continuous, high-speed use without needing an annoying midday top-up. For anyone looking to cool a dedicated seating area without lugging around a massive, heavy appliance, the chill zone hits a fantastic sweet spot. It offers excellent area coverage, reliable performance, and a sleek profile that blends nicely into most modern living spaces. 5. FLOWBREEZE DL3. This unit looks incredibly sleek and modern, resembling a high-end air purifier rather than a traditional, bulky swamp cooler, which makes it a welcome addition to any meticulously decorated room. One of the major highlights of the DL3 is its impressive 120-degree oscillation feature, which is vastly superior to the standard 60 or 90 degrees found on most of its direct competitors. This wide sweep ensures that the chilled air is distributed evenly across a large living space, completely eliminating hot spots and keeping the entire room feeling fresh. During my rigorous testing phase, I was absolutely blown away by how ultra-quiet this machine is, even when running on its maximum fan speed setting. It utilizes an advanced motor design that minimizes mechanical noise, making it the absolute best choice on this list for light sleepers or anyone who needs to record audio or take meetings in the same room. The evaporative cooling pad inside the DL3 is remarkably thick and highly efficient at retaining water, which translates to a much cooler breeze being pushed out of the front vents. It also features a massive water tank that is incredibly easy to access and clean, ensuring that your air stays pure and free of any unwanted odors over time. The FLOWBREEZE DL3 feels like a premium, luxury appliance that delivers consistent, whisper-quiet cooling performance day in and day out. If you value silence, modern aesthetics, and broad room coverage above all else, this model is an absolutely fantastic investment that will not disappoint. 4. WICOLO FK2408Y. This is where we start getting into the heavyweight category of swamp coolers, designed for those who need to combat intense, dry heat in larger indoor environments or open concept living spaces. The build quality of the WICOLO is immediately striking. It features rugged caster wheels and a sturdy housing that makes it incredibly easy to roll from the living room to the kitchen without breaking a sweat. It is built like an absolute tank, yet the design remains relatively clean and unobtrusive, so it will not look totally out of place sitting in the corner of your home. When I fired this unit up in my open-plan living and dining area, the sheer volume of air it moved was genuinely surprising, quickly circulating the chilled air and dropping the ambient temperature. It utilizes a high-efficiency honeycomb cooling pad system that maximizes the surface area for evaporation, pulling hot, stale air through the wet pads and blasting out a refreshing icy breeze. I was thoroughly impressed by the massive, easy-to-read LED display and the inclusion of a fully functional remote control, which allow me to adjust settings without constantly getting up from the couch. The top-loading water compartment also includes dedicated slots for large ice boxes, which takes the cooling potential to an entirely different level on those exceptionally scorching days. The WICOLO FK2408Y is a true powerhouse that bridges the gap between residential comfort and commercial-grade cooling capacity. It is an absolute lifesaver for large rooms with poor ventilation, offering a powerful, highly energy-efficient alternative to running a central AC system all day long. 3. VAGKRI 2100 CFM Evaporative Air Cooler. With a staggering 2,100 cubic feet per minute airflow rating, this unit is built to tackle the most demanding environments, from uninsulated hot garages to expansive outdoor patios. The sheer scale of this cooler is impressive, and it features an enormous 7.9-gallon water tank that completely eliminates the dreaded chore of constant refilling throughout the afternoon. You can easily fill this up with a bucket or pitcher in the morning, and it will effortlessly run continuously through the hottest part of the day, making it perfect for weekend barbecues or long days working in a hot shop. Testing the VAGKRI was a complete revelation. I set it up on my back patio during a heat wave, and it managed to create a highly comfortable microclimate that allowed my guests to actually enjoy the outdoors. The 120-degree oscillation is incredibly powerful, throwing a massive wall of cool, humidified air across a massive distance that smaller units simply cannot reach. Despite its massive power output, I found the interface to be surprisingly refined, offering distinct modes and fan speeds that let you easily tame the beast when you bring it indoors. The high-density cooling pads are thick and highly durable, absorbing an incredible amount of water to ensure the air being pushed out is as cold as physically possible through the natural process of evaporation. If you need raw, unadulterated cooling power for large, semi-open, or outdoor spaces, the VAGKRI 2100 CFM is in a league of its own. It provides industrial-level relief in a user-friendly package, making it an essential tool for anyone fighting extreme, dry summer temperatures on a regular basis. 2. DREO Evaporative Air Swamp Cooler. DREO has rapidly become a highly respected name in home climate control, and this beautifully upgraded oscillating cooler showcases exactly why they are currently dominating the market. What sets the DREO apart immediately is its incredibly sleek, tower-style design that manages to house a surprisingly large water tank and a highly efficient cooling system without looking incredibly bulky. It looks like a high-end piece of modern furniture, and the build quality is totally flawless with smooth, silent oscillation and premium plastics that feel incredibly durable to the touch. During my testing, I was absolutely mesmerized by the advanced impeller and motor design, which produces a staggering amount of chilled airflow while remaining shockingly quiet. The cooling sensation is immediate and deeply refreshing, utilizing a unique cross-flow fan design that pushes the cold air further and more smoothly than traditional bladed swamp coolers could ever manage. The smart features are where this unit truly shines above the rest. The digital thermostat, multiple cooling modes, and seamless integration with remote operation make it an absolute joy to use on a daily basis. The cooling pads are easily accessible and washable, and the unit actually tells you when it is running low on water, completely taking the guesswork out of your daily maintenance routine. The DREO Evaporative Cooler is the absolute pinnacle of indoor residential swamp coolers, offering unmatched refinement, gorgeous aesthetics, and brilliant whisper quiet performance. It is a nearly perfect machine that will effortlessly keep your living room, bedroom, or home office perfectly chilled all summer long without ruining your interior decor. 1. Uthfy 4800 CFM Swamp Cooler. When I say this thing is an absolute monster, I mean it in the best possible way, with an earth-shattering 4800 CFM rating. It is designed to obliterate heat in the most extreme environments imaginable. This unit is an absolute godsend for outdoor events, massive workshops, commercial garages, or anywhere that traditional air conditioning is simply impossible or far too expensive to install. The heavy-duty construction features massive, industrial-grade caster wheels that let you easily roll this behemoth wherever the heat is worst. And the robust housing feels like it could literally survive a war zone. My testing of the Uthfy was nothing short of mind-blowing. I placed it in my sweltering, uninsulated two-car garage in the middle of July, and within minutes, the entire space was transformed into a workable, comfortable environment. The three-sided high-density honeycomb cooling pads draw in massive amounts of hot air, instantly converting it into a freezing blast that you can literally feel from over 30 feet away. Despite its industrial-level power, it features a highly practical 120-degree isolation and a continuous fill option, meaning you can hook it directly to a standard garden hose and never worry about the water level again. It also includes manual water filling options and dedicated ice compartments for when you need the extra biting chill on the absolute hottest days of the year. The Uthfy 4800 CFM stands alone at the top of our ranking because it does the impossible. It provides massive, commercial-grade evaporative cooling in a package that is perfectly accessible and usable for the everyday consumer.